Hey YouTube, quick video today on a repair of a Wells Gardner 9200 monitor. This is a tri-sync monitor out of a Buck Hunter game, so this was a 27-inch flat screen. And a couple different areas where you might run into loss of color. We are just going to look at parts here instead of the actual chassis that I repaired. But the first place to look would be for cold solder on this input board, and this is the one that's mounted to the frame of the monitor, and you can either put VGA in the center, and you need to have your wires going to the neck board off this right side connector, or if you're using it, since this is tri-sync, you can do CGA and EGA as well. You have to take this one and move it over to the left. Now you can have cold solder on the input pins of that VGA connector, or if you're using the EGA, CGA side, and you can also have cold solder here. And I went through and looked at this and reflowed anything that looked suspect, and that didn't help bring my color red back that I was missing. So then the next thing to think about is the neck board. And before I went through and started trying to test and replace things on the neck board, I did quickly throw the tube on a tube tester or rejuver just to make sure that the red gun wasn't completely dead, and the red gun was fine. So we know that the problem has to lie somewhere on our neck board. And thinking about the three color circuits here, there's 3 tall resistors and 3 tall heat sinks. So one of these each do a color, and then a lot of the video IC is processed through this as well. So those are kind of going to be our main culprits. And just going off the schematics quick, that one with the R on it was the red drive, and then this one was the green drive, and then this one was the blue drive. But there's a larger transistor, color transistor on each heat sink, but then there's also a pre-drive transistor on here. So this one, I think this was Q201 and 203 were kind of the pair for the red, and then I think this was 206 and 208 were for the green, and then blue. It's kind of a different numbering system, but I think it's this one is the pre-drive, and that's the main drive. So knowing that the red was out and green and blue were good on that other neck board, I just swapped the green and the red. I swapped both transistors, and then now red was working, but then green was out. So I knew that one of those 2 transistors was out, and I couldn't do a static test on them with the diode to see if either of those transistors tested open or short, because they were testing the same as the good transistor. So I just swapped those 2 in off of this parts board, and then I got all 3 of my colors back. So again, it might not just be the main transistor, which does get overheated. You should also check the solder joints on the resistors and the transistors that are on the stand-up heat sinks, because those can get pretty cold. But changed out the driver and the pre-driver, and then if that didn't get it, I think my next step would have been to change out this IC. And then hopefully this helps you out on your repair of this craptastic chassis.